our program will change a little bit because our vice president, the person who works with our Mzee, a second command that time, he want to leave us. And I want to give him this opportunity to come and to talk to us. And then, since he has worked with him for that 5 years, and let us give him a round of applause and say hi to us.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Well, the family of late President Ambassador Muturi in my remarks, I thought I should place this on record. And the reason is I didn't have the time because of, if you remember when we laid President Mwai Kibaki to rest, it was quite an occasion. And I didn't have the opportunity to say one or two things. Ambassador Muturi eloquently actually represented all of us then. Therefore, if you allow me, I want to read my short remarks. April 22nd is a date embedded in my mind and thoughts since the death of our beloved third President of the Republic of Kenya, His Excellency Mwai Emilio Kibaki. When I learned that a group of eminent Kenyans launched the Mwai Kibaki Annual Memorial Lecture to keep the memory and ideas of this African icon alive 2 years ago, it warmed my heart and spirit. This is a befitting endeavor worthy of the icon we honor today and the yardstick we judge any Kenyan leader against. Such was his measure. I first met President Mwai Kibaki when I was elected to Parliament in 1985. Oh my goodness, it's actually been 40 years since. On the 10th, on the 10th of this month, marked my 40th anniversary as a leader, having been elected to Parliament then. I met him when I was elected as a young member of Kitui North constituency following a by-election. I was young, and he was the Vice President of the Republic of Kenya, as well as Minister for Home Affairs. I was a greenhorn, and Kibaki had been feted not just nationally, but internationally, as a finance minister who steered the economy with sound fiscal discipline for over 13 years during the First Republic. Internationally respected Time magazine, as has been mentioned, had in 1974 named Kibaki in the top 100 people in the world with the potential to lead. The Time editors had foresight and believed in Kibaki, perhaps even more than Kenyans themselves. 28 years after that heralded article, Mwai Kibaki took the oath of office as the President of the Republic of Kenya. As the Deputy Speaker of our National Assembly, I witnessed firsthand his oratory masterclass. He was an orator, a script writer, not like Malala perhaps, but very close to that. The august floor was his stage and always sold out. When the National Rainbow Coalition won the historic 27 December 2002 general election, President Kibaki appointed me as his first Minister for Foreign Affairs, and then our relationship became more personal. It is that forge of trust and faith, I believe, that allowed President Kibaki to reach out to my party, ODM Kenya as it then was, to save and rescue our nation state following the post-election 2007 violence. Together, we formed what was a first coalition and first negotiated position in the name of the Office of the Vice President. I then had the honor and privilege to be sworn in as the 10th Vice President of our country on the 9th of January 2008. President Kibaki made everyone feel at home. He would get our nation loving, don't you all remember? Even while faced with difficult moments, he would actually say to enjoy. And when things became a little tougher, as an elder statesman, he would call you harsher things. And one time he famously said that because of the Mlolongo system of voting that time, and he had been rigged out of his Othaya constituency, he actually said that even rigging required some intelligence. That was Kibaki. President Kibaki would even other times say very hard things, and you got away with it. President Kibaki listened and empowered his lieutenants. He was not a micromanager. He reduced taxation across the board and did away with unnecessary and prohibitive laws. President Kibaki's leadership led to the unprecedented 7% growth of our economy, as we've had, from 0.6%. Our infrastructural growth was self-evident, as was a commitment to economic recovery strategy and Vision 2030, as we've just heard from men who worked very closely with him in that regard. President Kibaki was an iconic father figure, a selfless, beloved, and brilliant leader, and his legacy will live on through countless generations. It was my greatest and singular privilege remarkably that was him. And you remember he had, he's the first person to say, you will not have a national currency having anybody's head printed on it. And he lived to actually see that happen. One of his least eroded qualities was his ability to restore our constitutional ambition, that we have heard from Professor Kivutha Kibwana, was his advisor in that space, come out very clearly on the steps that were undertaken. Less than 5 years from the costly defeat by the people of the Wako constitutional draft at the November 2005 referendum, President Kibaki promulgated the 2010 Constitution of Kenya on the 27th August 2010. Actually, after that referendum, I found myself missing from the newly constituted cabinet. I was not the only one. Raila Odinga was also missing. That was Kibaki, and he never followed you up with nasty utterances. Kenya has President Kibaki to greatly thank, and we owe him a debt of gratitude, because our constitution is heralded as one of the most progressive constitutions in Africa, if not the world. It is this constitution that now more than ever holds the fabric of our nation together at these grave and perilous times. Allow me to, for example, because if Kibaki was here, he wouldn't himself shy away from dealing with this matter. Yesterday, Kenya and the world witnessed the most unfortunate assault on democracy, when security agents, acting on orders from above, lobbed tear gas at young students of Butere Girls High School and members of the press at the National Drama Festival in Nakuru. It is an act of criminality against basic values of common decency. It is a direct assault to our democracy and rights of Kenyans as enshrined in our Constitution. And Article 33 of our Constitution, which was given to us as a heritage by President Kibaki, every person has the right to freedom of expression, a right that includes the guarantee for the Muturi girls to perform their play without fear or intimidation. The artistic expression is protected under the law. Article 34 further guarantees the freedom and independence of the media. Let us be clear, this Ruto regime has crossed the Rubicon. To the courageous students of Muturi girls, your resolve, even as you sang our national anthem in the face of riot gear and arms, has become a renewed symbol of hope, just like our Gen Zs. You are the true guardians of Kenya's future, bold, unyielding, and principled. Let it be known today, as we honor President Kibaki, who promulgated our sacred document 15 years ago on August 27, 2010, that we will continue to defend the Constitution. We will protect all Kenyans' freedoms and rights, and we will not be silenced, not today, not now, not ever. We say this in honor of His Excellency, President Mwai Kibaki. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. I think you clap for him again. Thank you so much. Now, ladies and gentlemen, now let me go back to our now officially program. I think each one of you have a program of today. Before I start, let me take this opportunity to thank the committee, organizing committee of this event. That is in your paper, the back, your left side. There's a committee members' names there. There's Professor Bita Kagwanja, Professor Michael Chege, Professor Kivuda Kibona, Dr. Mohisa Kitui, and myself, the Madam Judy, who is with us here, and also Ambassador Joka, I hope you are around, Abdul Latif, who is our MC of today, and our Secretariat. Let me sincerely thank this committee. We have started meeting and organizing these events of today from January up to today, up to yesterday. I think that's the end of the yesterday, so that today you can have these events. I sincerely thank all of you, Please, we shall be with you, and the next year, God willing, we shall be continue to do the same job. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Dr. Jacob Haji. I'm a Secretary General of Democratic Party. Before I continue, let me recognize former NIS Director Michael Gachagua. Please wave your sign and just tell them. Thank you. And let me recognize also leadership of the Democratic Party. NEC members, can you please stand and wave your sign? Hakuna moja hata moja hapa. Oh, mumibotea. Thank you. And then let me recognize also Democratic Foundation members. Dr. Joka, I think Dr. Joka is here, and the chair of that foundation. Thank you, Ambassador. This foundation was started by Mzee some times back, actually that time I was a student in the university, so we still continue with what Mzee told us to do with it and continue to keep it. Hata kama yeye hapana yuko tuweke ina continue with that spirit. It is now great pleasure to call Mzee Munyao on behalf of the party to speak to us. Vile wameanza chama, hawa ndio group moja ya chama. Norman Nyaga ako hapa namuona, akuja aseme kidogo, alafu then from there we take the other side of the politics. Thank you. Mzee Munyao, please mpigie makofi. Kuna wakati nilienda Denmark, Norway sorry, nikakuta mzee kama huyo wakati tuliitwa kwa delegates ya convention of the party, Conservative Party, tuliinvitiwa huko. Nikaona wazee ambao wanabeba na wheelbarrow, not wheelbarrow, what do you call it, the wheelchair. 9 of them wanakuja kukaa hapa wakitazama what they have done and celebrating their parties. So sasa sisi tuko na sambo kama hiyo moja hapa na mwingine nafikiri zuri atatu join. Karibu Mzee Munyao. Mpige makofi tafadhali nikukaribishe.
Thank you, Dr. Haji, Secretary General of the Democratic Party of Kenya, and all of you ladies and gentlemen. Hamujambo. The day is good, the year is good, we should go here. I will not take long, I will take a short while. But I will first rehearse something which was said by Professor Kagwanja. Has he gone out? So when you were talking, you talked about Vision 2030. It really shocked me because if I ever took over from the time Kibaki left us, I would have walked out. Because it means that I have been there doing nothing. Because if Kibaki planned for Kenya up to 2030, we have not even finished. We are still continuing with his programs and his vision. Honorable guests, fellow citizens, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon again. It is an honor to stand before you today as we commemorate the second Mwai Kibaki Memorial Service. President of the Republic of Kenya, the third President of the Republic of Kenya, was a visionary leader whose legacy has shaped Kenya into a resilient nation. His leadership brought in economic growth, a transformative constitution, and advancements in education and healthcare. Proof that resilience is not about avoiding challenges, but rising above them. Mwai Kibaki believed progress came when every Kenyan had the chance to contribute to the nation's development. His focus on infrastructure and rural development empowered ordinary citizens to shape their future. As we reflect on this legacy, let us remember that resilience means building society of opportunities for all. Let's honor this memory by embracing unity, hard work, and determination as we continue to build a strong, united Kenya. Thank you, and may President Kibaki legacy continue to inspire us all. DP, for those who found it, was formed way back. We formed it way back in 1977. It's true we got the document 1992, but we formed it 1977. And in Parliament, when we are there, we used to walk out, those who knew what we are doing, to walk out and go somewhere behind in Parliament, near an office which was Norman Nyaga's, because he was controlling us, Parliament, and then talk in there. Because outside we could not, you knew the kind of pressure everybody was during that time. So we had only to talk up there and then part. But 1992, we got that document from the registrar. Immediately we got that document, Kibaki, myself, and Honorable Karume left here because when we had formed a DP, there is an American who was coming here to talk to us, an ambassador, and he was prevented at the airport because he was told, now where are you going? I'm going to teach democracy in Kenya. He said, you walk out there, no, nothing like that. He was refused. So during that time, 1992, immediately we got the document because that leader from USA had been, he went from there, he just went back, he didn't continue. So immediately we got the document, we flew from there to Washington. At that time, there was the president who was carrying. And we went there with our document. We told the American government, here you are in Kenya now, we are a democratic country. You can come anytime you want. He also said, now with all that saying, you also stay around there for as long as you want. And we said we were required back in Kenya. So we were there just for about 2 weeks and then came back. So DP started longer than the printed one, 1982. Thank you.
Asante sana. Tafadhali nimkumbushe makofi kidogo. Asante sana Mzee Munyang. Now, let me take this opportunity to now invite family to speak. Judy, I think we are going to speak on behalf of the family. Please come and speak to us. We have started this program with the family and the party. Karibu, Judy. Thank you. Makofi, please.
After this, there's lunch, so don't leave. Okay. So I don't have much I want to say. I just want to welcome you all and to say to the Democratic Party leadership, thank you for organizing this event. And I wish to recognize the presence of the two deputy presidents, Honorable Kalonzo Musyoka and Honorable Rigathi Gachagua. You're welcome. It's significant that you're here, Deputy President, because, as you know, our late dad was a vice president for 10 years, President Mwai's vice president. So your presence here is recognition of his standing in history. Thank you. Ambassador Mudaura, thank you very much for joining us. You were a pillar of strength. Mzee could not have done it without you. And who else? Honorable Justin Muturi, karibu sana. I know you served, you were a member of parliament during Mzee's tenure, and we recognize your presence. Karibu sana. And I don't want to forget anybody. I'm told politicians are very sensitive. So let me say, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we are greatly honored by your presence here today. It has been a great pleasure to host you and to also receive your warmth as we remember our father, the third President of the Republic of Kenya. From the presentations made today and the vibrant discussions, it is clear that we all know that Kenya has the human resource and goodwill to grow to even greater heights of prosperity. As we leave here, let us hold that thought and continuously strive to be a part of the development process in whatever small or big way we can manage. It is our collective efforts that matter. On behalf of my family, I thank you and the following for all that they have done to make this event memorable: the organizing committee, Professor Michael Shege, Professor Kivutha Kibwana, Dr. Mukisa Kitui, Professor Peter Kagwanja. We thank you all very much from the deepest depths of our hearts, and please stay on for lunch. And we also look forward to seeing you again in next year's memorial lecture. God bless you all.
Thank you, Judy. On behalf of the family, we thank you so sincerely, because we have been in that committee with you for all those 3 months organizing this committee. Somebody asked me the other day, why the Democratic Party do these things last year and this year? I look at him, nikanyamaza. Akasema Kibaki alikuwa na kitu naitwa BNU na NAC. Akasema, nikamuuliza yeye, wewe ulikuwa na bibi ngapi? Yeye mtu akanyamaza. So we always recognized the first family, some of us, because Kibaki was elected to do that, but twice. He was official opposition in this country, we have never had from the Democratic Party official opposition. Hii ingine wakiingia tu kidogo namna hiyo wamenyakuliwa, wameingia kwa serikali. So this country, we have never had official opposition since 1997 up to 2001. Therefore, we are continue to remember that is our leader. He's the one who formed this party. So we shall continue with the family to remember him for all this. And there is something Mzee Munyao forgot it. One day, Mzee summoned us. Alimwambia huyu atulete. Mimi na Rosemary huyo na Matela. I wonder why Mzee calling us. And it was almost the last term, the last year of the first term. And it was on Saturday, 8 o'clock. Mzee Munyao was a minister for livestock. He told me, mkuje kabisa kwa ofisi yangu saa 2. We met him there. And then we went with him up to State House. We met Mzee. Yeye na State House controller. This tall man, what is his name? Murade. That person. Then haya, munaendelea namna gani na chama? Kameleza je mambo yuko. Tuliongea mambo ya kumaliza, akasema sikizeni sasa. Sisi tuko kwa serikali huko. Na nyinyi mko huko mnafanya kazi nyingine. Kwa hivyo hiyo chama mchunge. Usiharibu hiyo chama, inaweza kutokea kiongozi mwingine kuongoza hii nchi vizuri. That is his word from that Mzee. Some of us, we have never forgot that things. That is why tunangangana tu tunashikilia chama isimalizike. At least when some of us were around and we know that words, what we have been told that Mzee, will say hiyo kitu isiishe. And I want to appeal leadership of Nyeri. I think most of you senior people, politicians, mko hapa. Please, I plead to you. That constituency of Othaya, na hata ikiwezekana 2 MCAs, iwe ichaguliwe na mtu kutoka Democratic Party, so that continues. So that continues of remembering that mzee. Even if some of us were not there, we shall continue to be there. Sasa kama mahali yeye ametoka mwenyewe, nyinyi mnaweka watu wengine, chama si inakuwa namna gani? Nani atakumbuka hii mzee jamani? Tafadhali, I plead to you, mwangalie huko. Now, mimi namaliza. I want to call a son of Nyeri from that area, a senior person, to take over now from here to introduce this team which is come with. Also, atuambie njia gani tutaelekea na mambo gani inaendelea. The people's deputy president, Gachagua. Please, makofi. Tupatie kofi.
Thank you very much, Haji. The family of Mzee wetu Mwai Kibaki, third president of the Republic of Kenya, distinguished guests, the panelists, the professors who have talked to us, and all the people who have come here for this memorial lecture and luncheon for the greatest president of our times, the late Mzee Mwai Kibaki. Good afternoon. I'm really very honored that I was invited to come for this lecture, and I want to thank the professors who spoke here to us about the leadership of Mzee Mwai Kibaki. Mzee Mwai Kibaki is a legend. He's a reference point in matters governance. And anybody who talks about governance in this country, there is reference to his leadership. He left a legacy that remains permanent, that is visible, and that is felt. His greatest achievement was the economic restoration and transformation of this country. And because I'm somebody who listens to the ordinary people, they tell me, don't tell us about economic growth, don't tell us about economic survey, don't tell us the economy has improved from this percentage to this percentage. We want to feel the growth the way we felt it when Kibaki was president. Because there was money in circulation, there was infrastructural development that is feasible, and people say they don't want to be told theories. They want to feel economic growth the way they felt it when Mwai Kibaki was president between the year 2002 and 2013. I want to really acknowledge the culture of hard work that the late president inculcated in all of us, asking people to work hard. I remember when he was sworn in as president and he made his first visit to Othaya, and those of us from Nyeri were very excited to welcome our son home, and we were lining up everywhere waiting for him. And when he reached Karatina, where I was, he didn't come out of the vehicle. And he lowered the window by a few inches, and then called a PC, akamuuliza bwana PC, nini naendelea hapa? Hii watu yote, it was around 11. Nani nachuna majani chai? Nani yuko kwa shamba ya kahawa? Hapana, 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 tutaharibu. Tukiendelea namna hii tutaharibu. He put the window up and drove to Othaya. Nobody ever came again to meet Mwai Kibaki. Watu walienda kwa mashamba. And that is how this country was transformed. The culture of hard work. I want to say that many people today who are solid in this country, I included, we made our money during the time of Mwai Kibaki. Because government documents were respected. If you had an LPO issued to you from government, you could walk into a bank and get 50% as LPO financing. Because you do the work and you will get paid. Today, if you go to an LPO, to a bank, nobody will talk to you. He really dignified government contracts by making sure that contracts were only given when money was available and there was budgetary support. These great men pushed taxation. And we want today, as we remember him in a very fond manner, to say there's nothing wrong with the taxation. And Kenyans cannot be accused of refusing to pay taxes. Because Mwai Kibaki did it. Lipa kodi. Ujitegemee. And people paid taxes. And they didn't complain because they saw a corresponding development and services. Kenyans don't have a problem with paying taxes. But Kenyans have a big problem in paying taxes that they cannot see what the money is doing. So we want to ask our brothers now in government to know that Kenyans are not complaining about overtaxation because they don't want to pay tax. They have a problem of paying taxes that are misappropriated, that are not used appropriately. And Mwai Kibaki is a living testimony that Kenyans are willing to pay taxes, but they want to see a corresponding service and development. Mwai Kibaki respected institutions. Ambassador Muturi is here. And Ambassador, we want to salute you. Mwai Kibaki would not have succeeded without the support of the bureaucracy that you led. But he also allowed you to work, because we know he allowed people to work. Because if you have a supporting system that supports you, it can only be effective to support you if you allow them to work. Mwai Kibaki respected institutions, and going forward, that must be the way for this country, so that institutions can work. Again, we must remember him for the 2010 Constitution, and all those who say that they remember him fondly, the way to dignify his legacy is to implement the Constitution and follow it letter and spirit. Because when we do that, we'll have a good country. Mwai Kibaki spoke very little and did much. Most of us are learning from him. Nowadays, I only talk once a week. I'm becoming a good student of Mwai Kibaki. Going forward, I'll talk after 2 weeks, then one a month, because he spoke very little and did a lot, you know. And I think you don't need to speak much. You just work, and work can be seen. And if you remember free primary education, it was real. Today it isn't. And Mwai Kibaki didn't have to talk about it. How kuipigia debe, he did it, and it was there for everybody to see and to feel. Let me, Judy and your siblings, thank you, because many people do not appreciate the place of family in leadership. There's no leader who can succeed if you don't have family support. The fact that Mwai Kibaki was a very successful leader in this country speaks volume of the support that the family gave him. And therefore, as we celebrate him, we want to honor the family for standing behind your father, supporting him at home, and allowing him to dedicate his life to the service of this great republic. Again, we also want to honor the Kibaki family because despite many challenges and temptations, you never allowed yourselves to be misused by entrepreneurs to to spoil the name of your father and yourselves. Mwai Kibaki is gone, but his integrity and that of his family remains up. Nobody has ever suited Mwai Kibaki and his family in any scandal in this country. And we know the temptations around family by people who want to use proximity to power. So you have really dignified your father because his name is good and nobody has ever thrown him into anything that would have looked conflict of interest or commercial interest for his tenure in State House. He did a good job, and we want to really salute the family because that is really the way to go. Dr. Mukisa Kitui, we are envious of the cabinet you served at Mwai Kibaki, that you are allowed to speak. Justin Muturi and I can tell you, in the cabinet we served, it's only me and him who could speak. And that is why we had to be edged out. The rest are flower girls and praise and worship choir. So we would have wanted, you know, if things could reverse and we served at Mwai Kibaki, we would have enjoyed, because he would have allowed us to contribute, to make meaningful contribution to the management of the affairs of this country. Haji, I've heard you correctly about the place of DP in Othaya, but I'm more concerned not even about DP in Othaya. I am more concerned about the quality of leadership in that constituency that was led by Mwai Kibaki. A graduate of the London School of Economics, the greatest president of all times, a man who represented Othaya with wisdom, a man who was a good debater. Then when he was gone, the replacement of Mwai Kibaki, like today, it's a shame. Member of Parliament who never speaks in Parliament at all, who hasn't made any contribution on the floor of the House. And Othaya now is a pale shadow of the Othaya under Mwai Kibaki. Coming this general election in 2027, we shall talk to the people of Othaya to dignify the late Mwai Kibaki by looking for a quality legislator who, even if he cannot measure up to the level of Mwai Kibaki, can be there 60–70%. But the present situation in Othaya is embarrassing and is very demeaning to the late Mwai Kibaki and his family. And Othaya people are crying for a change, and we'll be having conversation with them so that they can look for quality leadership that can be able to hold the name of that great old man in high repute. So mimi nimeshukuru sana, tuko hapa na viongozi wengi ambaye sijui Haji unataka tuwapatie, unataka tufanye namna gani to introduce them? What do you want to introduce them? Yeah, tuko na the Honorable Eugene Wamalwa, kiongozi wetu. Kuja useme jambo. His late brother was vice president to Mwai Kibaki, na alikuwa na kizungu mingi sana. Hata huyu wako na kizungu mingi. Sio mingi sana. But he served Mwai Kibaki well. So kuja sema jambo.
Asante sana. Thank you very much, Your Excellency, the Kibaki family, the DP leadership, the distinguished panel, and distinguished guests. Good afternoon. Let me start by thanking the Kibaki family and also the DP leadership for giving us the opportunity to be here today to remember a great leader. And as His Excellency has said, I think he's the most consequential leader of our republic. And as we remember him today, we remember words of a wise man who said that sometimes we are all warmed by fires we did not light, and we drink from wells we did not dig. This great leader, when you look at his symbol, there was something very unique about Kibaki. It was always about light. His symbol ya DP ilikuwa ni taa, mwangaza, lighting the way. When we came to NAC and several of our parties came together, my late brother had fought Kenya, we had others. Forming NAC again, Kibaki chose light, mwenge, yes, the torch, yes, to light the way. And the light that he left us is the Vision 2030. That is still the light guiding the journey that is our national development. We're in 2025. We have 5 years to go to 2030. So as we meet here today as leaders, let us start thinking about another light, that from 2027, as we form the next government, we can have a leadership that can light another light beyond 2030, beyond Africa Agenda 2063. And I see that leadership in this room. I see the next government in this room. I thank the organizers for choosing this historic venue. Mwai Kibaki once met here with his friend Wamalo Kijana and his other friend Charity Ngilu. The late Kihika Kimani asked, ni nini wanaume wawili wanafanya na mwanamke mmoja kwa hoteli? Kumbe Kibaki was forming the next government. Yes. So those of you who are here, Kibaki's friends, let us look at this as a 202 moment. Let us drink from this well of inspiration, and let us be inspired to save our country, because apart from Vision 2030, the greatest legacy left us was the Constitution. He appointed me as Minister for Justice, and I remember when I invited him to address the judiciary, they were bidding him farewell. I told him, Mr. President, I don't know what historians will write about you. What would be your greatest legacy? They would have a hard time because they would wonder whether free primary education was your greatest legacy. They would wonder whether the phenomenal infrastructure development was your greatest legacy. But I told him, Your Excellency, I think your greatest legacy will be the Constitution 2010. All we need to do as a country is to remain and to protect that Constitution and to implement it fully and faithfully. It's being violated time and again. It was violated last year on the 25th of June, when young people, the Gen Z, were slaughtered, demanding for accountability, good governance, and an end to corruption. Yesterday I was in Nakuru as a lawyer acting for Butere Girls. We are not talking about the Gen Z. This is the Gen Alpha. Kids, children, being tear-gassed, being injured, being denied one of the most fundamental freedoms in that Constitution, freedom of expression. A child should be allowed to express themselves freely, not as a favor from the state, but it is a constitutional protection of our children, nationally and internationally. So as we remember Mwai Kibaki, let us remember to remain and to uphold fidelity to our Constitution and to get in place the right leadership in 2027. Thank you and God bless you.
I think Ambassador Muthaura, please come and say something. We look upon you in public service. You are such a mentor.
Thank you very much. Yeah. Thank you very much. I really wish to congratulate very much all those who have organized this event. Sometimes in Kenya, we forget our leaders. And what we are doing now is to make sure that we don't forget our leaders. Through appreciation, we become visionary so that we are able to do more and value our contributions to the country. I want to say that the professors who spoke to us about Kibaki, I think they spoke very well, but I think they forgot a few things which would have even made their presentations very strong. And this is education. I think Kibaki made a great impact in this country on education, not just primary. You know, because the party came with the free primary. But soon after that, Kibaki introduced free day secondary so that to expand, the middle, the middle education. So that really expanded education in this country. It did not stop there. He also introduced Tibet technical education, so that every county, every county, and to have a technical institute to empower people. More than that, he grew up, expanded the university education from 6 public universities to 22. And soon after, the number went even up to, I think, 33, 34. So for me, the impact that Kibaki has had on education is really what is transforming this country. There's no doubt. Sometimes we get a bit worried about the youth in the country, but the youth has been empowered. So we have a responsibility as leaders to make sure that we act ahead of the youth by expanding the economy. I'll tell you how, when Mungiki became a nuisance, when the Ministry of Youth was created, was in response to the Mungiki menace. And we realized, Kibaki realized, that a lot of these people, youth, are idle. What we do to make sure that they have opportunities for employment. So what we did was, to take care of the youth was to expand the education, of course, so that they stay in school longer and they are more technically empowered to do that. Then on top of that, he really identified the sectors that needed to be expanded so that they can create more jobs. At that time, Nairobi, there were no high-rise buildings. In fact, we used to have Nyayo high-rise somewhere near down Nairobi Dam, Nyayo high-rise as more estate. There was Kariako, which was done very early, and a small high-rise also estate in Outer Ring. We didn't have high-rise apartments. So Kibaki opened up Nairobi for high-rise buildings and multi-purpose, multiple use of buildings, not just residential. You can imagine Upper Hill were just bungalows. How many people are in Upper Hill in bungalows in 1 week each? How many people? Places like Kilimani, places like all these areas around Nairobi, even Parklands, Westlands, Lavington, they were just bungalows with very few people. People having just 1 acre in one house, a family of 2 or 3. So you opened up, and they look at Nairobi today. I mean, all these high-rise have created also jobs, a lot of jobs. So really, what I'm saying here is that Kibaki really valued think tanks very much. That's why the Economic and Social Council could come up with various options. And once he's convinced about the best option available, he would just give us, targets. There's no two-way. You are given targets. You have to deliver. And you just say, don't talk too much. People will appreciate what they can see. Do it. Once people see it, you remember the roads, the development of the roads in the country, infrastructure, the ICT. I remember Kenya was when Kibaki took over, Kenya was very slow adopting the new ICT transformations which were taking place globally. So he said, now, who are we going to give this ministry? We need to have somebody who can understand it. Unfortunately, those days, appointments were only restricted to members of parliament. So we got one of the members of parliament, Kagwe, who had been in information, who had been, I think, a director in the Ministry of Information. He could understand more about information technology. Then he asked now, and the permanent secretary, where do we get one who can understand this ICT? Morage said he knows of somebody, a Kisi, Demo, in the university, who was in America, and he is very good in that area. So the two people are appointed. And the first thing they did was to review where we were. And then they realized there was a regional program to bring marine fiber cable to East Africa, because we did not have, that's why we are lagging behind. We're just using the satellite. So the first thing, they went to South Africa, where there was a regional meeting just to push that agenda. When they went there, they found people are just talking at cross purpose, as the program was too slow. They came and said, told the president, Your Excellency, this project, this